Your body, your nutrition is not a math equation, it's a Ferrari. And if we thought of it in that way, it would respond significantly better. Look, so many people completely miss the point of nutrition. They jump on the new diet, the new fasting regime, the new calorie counter, but they miss the point of how to get their body responding. They're looking at it from the outside and wondering why it won't work. Look, the big thing we're trying to make this connection between today is the quality of the foods we eat and how we feel on those foods. If we were a Ferrari, we wouldn't put vegetable oil in the car and wonder why it doesn't perform. In this video, I want to go through 3 really important mental shifts or even identity shifts to make sure that the nutrition aspects, the nuts and bolts of what you're doing actually make sense and you're looking at it through not just today's lens, but how we're still proud of a body that still functions in 10 years, 20 years from now. The first one I want to go through is the short-term fillers versus long-term fuel. We all get busy, we all get underprepared in certain moments, and it's like, maybe it's a protein bar, it's an extra coffee to get through this gap. But if that's your fundamental nutrition on a day-to-day level, you're not going to have the energy, the mental clarity, or even mood stability that you really want long-term. And being able to just look at that ratio of what meals are prepared, actually something that I've prepared myself versus something that is just bought from a shop or a petrol station or a servo as we run through life at 100 miles an hour. Being able to step back and look at what is the micronutrients that my body needs in order to function on a day-to-day level, not just the pick-me-ups to get me through the day. The amount of us that are borrowing energy from tomorrow to just get through the day, and then we're constantly running on this deficit, then it really gets in the way of us looking at, why is my body not working? I'm like, well, if I just look at the last 7 days, we're running on empty. We're running on adrenaline. The second one I want to address is just respecting the machine, right? It's not disposable. And if we come back to the Ferrari analogy for a second, I would assume you wouldn't look at that as cheap and disposable. You'd look after it, you'd respect it, you'd want it to last long term. And if we fundamentally looked at our body that same way, what are the key things that we would be looking for? Well, like the car, we'd probably be going in for some sort of regular service. We wouldn't leave it in the shed for 30 years and expect it to still run the same. What does that look like for you? It might just be as simple as going for a walk and getting some sunlight today. It might be hydrating. It might be going for a massage, strengthening the body with a workout, having those key non-negotiables that allow your body to perform. I know that if I get a workout in 4 days a week, I feel significantly stronger, I feel sharper, I feel more energetic, I feel happier, and so many of these other benefits to both me and the people I care about around me get because I'm getting those non-negotiables in place. If my body's not disposable, I'm going to look after it for how I feel day to day, but also with things like the workouts, I'm looking after that body in 10, 20 years to make sure it's not frail and old and reliant on others. So being able to look at that aspect of disposability, so many of us are just like, well, I'm just going to force my body to just get through today, do the things I need to do. I'm too busy, but I'm wondering why things are slowing down and it's getting harder and harder to do. The last one I want to bring up really wraps this up is the quality of the food we eat is the quality of us. Being able to look at the actual cellular makeup of the food we eat fundamentally becomes us. What we eat is what we absorb, which is what we become. So if we're taking that little bit extra time to look at that fresh produce, to get butcher high quality meats rather than just the cheapest crap from the supermarket, it makes such a difference to how you feel. Not only from that micronutrient level that we talked about, looking from taste, from quality of nutrients. I can tell you right now, from the blood work side of things, these inflammatory markers, your digestive function, your mood will absolutely have an impact when you start to look at high quality foods. It doesn't need to be expensive, it just needs to be mindful. There are certain foods that are worth going organic, some you just need to wash. Certain oils, we're looking towards olive oils or maybe coconut oils as opposed to your vegetable oils, your seed oils that might be clogging up systems. Being able to have certain limitations of how often you're drinking, how much deep fried food you're eating. Are you hitting some of these recovery bases in order to function on a day-to-day basis? It has such a big impact. All right, team, I'm going to summarize with 3 key parts. 1, be mindful of the amount of days that are just short-term fillers. Where are we getting in that foundation? 2, are we able to actually respect the machine? Are we looking at it as our body as disposable, or are we looking after this for the long run? And then lastly, the quality of the food we eat is what we become. Are we taking those small tweaks and refinements in just making sure that the food we eat is high quality and that it's going to pay those dividends for years and years, not just by how we feel today, but making sure the inflammatory markers, the health concerns long-term are looked after because we're making those micro investments to how we feel. This is not about trying to be perfect. It's a fundamental self-respect lens to look at nutrition a little bit differently. So we're not looking at it from the outside and forcing the thing to change and feeling like it's external to us. We're nurturing it. We're looking after it. We're listening to it along the way and making sure that that feels like a change worth making. The the small time and investment spent to show up better, not just for today, but for years to come, because it's the only body you have. You can change a shoulder or a knee, but you can't change the whole thing. It's worth looking after the damn thing. And I've come close to losing my health multiple times myself. I'm sure you've gone through periods, or you might be in one right now, where you feel it's not functioning like it used to. I promise you, without looking at the macros and the fancy nutrition plans, the fundamental respect to how you feel yourself is such a great place to start, and a well worth first step to actually spend some time thinking about before jumping on the next plan. I hope that's helpful, team. I hope you have an amazing week. We'll talk again soon.